Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I am Gianni Berry, and I'm currently in graduate school getting my master's degree in healthcare administration. I'm excited to talk to you all today. In this video, I'm going to talk about a policy solution that I strongly believe can make a huge difference in addressing maternal mortality here in Texas, where I currently reside. Out of the options that I explored, there were three: Medicaid expansion, subsidizing doula services, and funding community health models. Now, the one that I've chosen to support is, you've guessed it, Medicaid expansion. Now, let's dive right in. Why did I choose to support Medicaid expansion and have that be my policy of choice here? Because right now in Texas, many women lose Medicaid coverage just 60 days. Again, 60 days after giving birth. That is a serious gap in care. We know from research and evidence that complications like high blood pressure, diabetes, and postpartum depression often show up months after delivery, not within those first 2 months. So basically, right when women need support the most, their coverage disappears, gone with the wind. Let that sit. I'm going to go in with a storytelling moment to let this hit home a bit more. Imagine a mother. Let's call her Mariah. Mariah gives birth to a healthy baby boy, and for the first couple of months, things seem fine. She's great. But by her 3rd month postpartum, she starts experiencing severe headaches and dizziness. Now, these are signs of postpartum hypertension, which can be deadly if it's left untreated. But here's the issue here. Mariah's Medicaid coverage ended at the 60 days postpartum mark. She doesn't have any money to see a doctor out of pocket, so she waits. By the time she goes to the emergency room, she's in a crisis moment. She's not doing very well. Now, stories like Mariah's aren't rare. They are preventable. And that's why I believe expanding Medicaid coverage to cover a full year of postpartum care is such a powerful solution. But wait, I do have research and evidence to back this up. Hold that thought. Research shows that states that expanded Medicaid saw women use more postpartum care visits and had fewer complications. Expansion especially helps women in rural communities where their healthcare access is already stretched thin because they don't have many places to go. Let's think about that for a minute there. I'm now going to take a look at this from a different perspective so we can broaden the horizon a bit. Let's look at it from the perspective of healthcare clinicians, like our doctors, nurses, and mental health providers. They know that healthcare is most effective when it's continuous. They want to care for patients before problems turn into emergencies. But with the current system, their hands are completely tied. They can't do anything about it. They might stabilize, yeah, a mother after delivery, but if her coverage ends, they can't care for her anymore and they lose her as a patient. Until then, she comes back in an emergency, which is often way sicker than they've ever seen her before, right? They couldn't do anything. They couldn't prevent anything because she lost her coverage. They weren't seeing her. So that's not just frustrating for the clinicians when they see their patients like that. It's also exhausting and it leads to burnout. And we know that is a huge problem in the healthcare community right now. Now picture this. If a nurse or physician can see their patient regularly for a year, they can catch postpartum depression before it worsens. They can monitor diabetes and blood pressure before they spiral. So the point I'm getting at here is it's better for patients, it's more rewarding for clinicians, and it's more cost effective for the overall system. It really is. Some would argue not, but ultimately, it really is cost effective. Now to my next point. Let's talk about what I think is the real quote unquote selling point for Medicaid expansion. Yes, Medicaid expansion costs money, like people will say. But here's the thing. It also saves money. When women have access to preventative care, they avoid those expensive ER visits. They manage their chronic conditions earlier, and they then recover faster. That means lower long-term healthcare costs for the state, for the hospitals, and for the families. So that's a huge full circle moment here. That's it. But wait, beyond the economics, beyond all the money stuff, the real selling point here is morale. No mother should die because her health insurance ran out 2 months after giving birth. What country are we living in? We're not in a third world country. We can help provide for these mothers, and we need to. This policy is about equity, compassion, and basic fairness. It ensures that mothers, regardless of income or zip code, can get the care they need to stay alive and healthy after bringing new life into this world. Right? Every child needs their mother, and a lot go without because of this issue. This is a message that resonates with clinicians, policymakers, and communities alike. It's not just about the dollars. Forget the money here. It's about dignity. We need to care for our mothers because they deserve them. They brought us into this world and they deserve to stay in it to care for us for the rest of ours. So, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I chose Medicaid expansion because it directly tackles the coverage gap that puts so many mothers at risk. It's the best options for clinicians because it gives them the ability to provide consistent, preventative care instead of just crazy crisis care where they're running around trying to figure out what happened. And it's the strongest selling point because why? It saves lives while also making the most financial sense out of some of the other more expensive policies that people would think. At the end of the day, this is about making sure that women like Mariah and thousands of others across Texas don't just fall through the cracks and are forgotten about. This is an issue that is really affecting mothers here in Texas. Expanding Medicaid is not going to solve all maternal mortality issues on its own, but it is one of the most impactful steps that we can take right now, today. Let's remember, maternal mortality is on the high rise in Texas. I really thank you all for listening, and I really hope this sparks more conversation toward building a healthcare that truly supports mothers and families, because right now in the community that we're living in, Mothers are feeling forgotten about, not listened to, not cared for, and we need to make a change. This starts with us. This starts with the conversation that I'm having right now. This starts with educating our people on the crisis that mothers in Texas are currently in. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you for listening, and I hope to get some feedback from this. Have a great day.